to? Diddy party? We went to the little private area behind the cause he had a house behind his house. Like he had a backyard with his backyard with a fat bed, and then it had like a miniature little whatever.
The internet is buzzing, and this one might shake you to your core. Chrisean Rock just dropped a bombshell that no one saw coming. She exposed Jason Lee's secret connection to Beyoncé. Yes, you read that right. The woman who's known for speaking her truth is pulling back the curtain, revealing details that could change the way fans see one of the biggest names in music forever. This isn't just gossip. This is personal. This is explosive, and it's about to take social media by storm. For years, fans have speculated about what goes on behind the scenes in Beyoncé's world, but Chrisean is claiming she has insider knowledge that nobody else dared to share. She's saying things that make you stop scrolling, things that make you question everything you thought you knew. From secret meetings to hidden alliances, and moments captured that were never meant to see the light of day, she's exposing it all. And the timing couldn't be more shocking. Right when Beyoncé's empire seems untouchable, Jason Lee's secret is out, and the reaction is already blowing up online. Fans are divided, reactions are intense, and the story is spreading faster than wildfire. Every detail Chrisean shares hits hard, and every revelation pulls back another layer of the mystery that surrounds Beyoncé's inner circle. This isn't a story you want to miss. Stay glued, because once this drops, the conversation is going to dominate headlines, tweets, and your feed for days. The truth is out, and it's hotter than anyone could imagine. After Chrisean Rock dropped the revelation about Jason Lee and his connection to Beyoncé, the internet instantly erupted. Fans flooded social media with comments, memes, and clips dissecting every word she had said. Everyone wanted to know, what exactly is this secret, and how deep does it go? From the moment Chrisean spoke, the narrative shifted from casual celebrity speculation to a full-blown exposé, with her credibility and boldness taking center stage. It all started when Chrisean revealed that Jason Lee, who's long been known as a behind-the-scenes figure in the industry, has had a relationship with Beyoncé that goes far beyond professional ties. Sources close to Chrisean say she has first-hand knowledge of meetings, conversations, and situations that the general public never knew existed. This wasn't just idle chatter. She claimed that Jason Lee has been directly involved in projects, decisions, and collaborations that were quietly shaping Beyoncé's career and public image. The shock of this revelation is layered. Beyoncé's image has always been meticulously managed. Every public move, every album rollout, every social appearance feels calculated. For someone like Chrisean to step up and suggest that a hidden figure like Jason Lee has been working behind the curtain, influencing choices and holding secrets, it challenges the narrative of control that Beyoncé's team has built over the years. Chrisean's account didn't stop at professional involvement. She hinted at personal moments that were never meant to be public, suggesting that Jason Lee has had access to information and connections in Beyoncé's life that few could ever imagine. Fans immediately began scrutinizing old interviews, social media posts, and public appearances, looking for clues that could corroborate her story. And the reaction? Explosive. Across Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, hashtags about Chrisean, Jason Lee, and Beyoncé began trending within minutes. Fans were divided. Some praised Chrisean for her courage to speak the truth. Others questioned her motives, wondering if this was a move to gain attention or stir controversy. But one thing was undeniable: nobody was ignoring this. Industry insiders also weighed in. While most chose to stay anonymous, several confirmed that Jason Lee has indeed been a key player behind the scenes in multiple high-profile projects. They stressed that while Beyoncé's talent and influence are indisputable, it's common for superstar acts to have trusted advisors and collaborators operating quietly. Chrisean's claim was that Jason Lee isn't just any collaborator. He's someone with access to highly personal and strategic elements of Beyoncé's world. Social media debates quickly turned into deep dives. Fans started sharing screenshots, past interviews, and rare footage, trying to piece together any hint of truth in Chrisean's story. Old photographs showing Beyoncé and Jason Lee in the same settings began circulating, and every detail was analyzed. Speculation ran wild. Was Jason Lee shaping decisions from behind the scenes? Was he controlling narratives? Or was Chrisean exaggerating for dramatic effect? The uncertainty fueled the fire. The timing of Chrisean's revelation also added tension. Beyoncé recently had a string of high-profile appearances, including award show performances, album anniversaries, and collaborations with other artists. Chrisean's disclosure inserted an entirely new layer into how fans interpreted those events. Suddenly, the narrative was no longer just about Beyoncé's achievements. It was about who was guiding, influencing, and orchestrating the moves that appeared seamless to the public. And it wasn't just fans reacting. Other artists and celebrities began chiming in, either in support of Chrisean's boldness or in defense of Beyoncé. The ripple effect was immediate. Everyone wanted to claim their stance, knowing that this revelation would dominate headlines for weeks. The cultural weight of Beyoncé's status made Chrisean's claims not just gossip, they became a story with real significance in the music world. As days passed, Chrisean released additional details, carefully walking the line between revealing information and protecting herself from potential backlash. She emphasized that her goal wasn't to attack Beyoncé, but to highlight the hidden truths about Jason Lee's influence and the secrecy surrounding the inner workings of superstar life. That distinction mattered. Fans appreciated the nuance, recognizing that Chrisean's story was not just scandalous, it was about power, influence, and control in the entertainment industry. The story also raised questions about accountability. If Jason Lee had been influencing decisions behind the scenes, what did that mean for the public image Beyoncé has maintained? Were there times fans were seeing curated moments instead of organic decisions? Chrisean hinted that some events, appearances, and decisions were directly tied to Jason Lee's input, making him a shadow figure with real power. Media outlets picked up the story rapidly. News websites, entertainment blogs, and online magazines scrambled to report, fact-check, and provide context. Analysts discussed the implications of a figure like Jason Lee operating behind the scenes of one of the world's most scrutinized celebrities. Commentators debated whether this was an unprecedented level of secrecy or if it was simply part of the music business's hidden structures. Meanwhile, Chrisean continued to keep her audience engaged. Clips of her interviews, TikTok videos, and Instagram stories kept resurfacing, each one adding more layers to her claims. Fans were captivated, not only by the allegations themselves, but by her confidence, clarity, and willingness to stand by her story. Her delivery made it difficult to dismiss her claims outright. By the end of the week, the story had taken on a life of its own. Social media threads had thousands of comments dissecting every angle, YouTube videos were analyzing timelines, and fan communities were organizing evidence hunts to validate or disprove Chrisean's claims. It had become more than just a celebrity scandal. It was a cultural moment that exposed how power, influence, and secrecy operate behind the glossy surface of fame. Chrisean's revelation also prompted discussions about loyalty, trust, and transparency in the music industry. Fans debated the ethics of hidden influence, the responsibilities of advisors, and the challenges of being in the public eye while having private figures shaping major decisions. It raised broader questions. How much do fans really know about their favorite stars? And how many unseen figures quietly affect the trajectories of the most celebrated careers in music history? The deeper Chrisean went, the more intense the reactions became. It wasn't just about Beyoncé anymore. It was about the systems and structures that power her career. People began connecting dots to other artists, wondering how many stars had similar figures working in the shadows, shaping public perception and career moves. Chrisean's story opened a window into a world that most fans never see, and that made it all the more gripping. As the days turned into weeks, the story maintained momentum. Interviews continued, clips resurfaced, and analysts debated the credibility of her claims. Chrisean's courage to speak up, coupled with the timing and gravity of her revelations, kept her at the center of the conversation. Jason Lee, meanwhile, stayed silent, which only fueled more speculation. Every social media post he made was dissected for hidden meanings or hints at a response, keeping fans glued to their screens. And while the story continues to unfold, One thing is certain, Chrisean Rock has shifted the narrative. She's made fans question everything they thought they knew about Beyoncé's world and the hidden players who operate behind the scenes. Her revelations are a reminder that in the music industry, there's often more going on than meets the eye, and sometimes the most powerful figures are the ones you never see. This was just the beginning. The reactions, the debates, and the fallout were only going to intensify. Chrisean had opened Pandora's box, and there was no going back. Every day brought new angles, new discussions, and new attention to the story, and everyone was waiting to see what would happen next. As the dust began to settle from Chrisean Rock's initial revelation about Jason Lee, the story only gained more traction. Fans, influencers, and even journalists were dissecting her every statement. Social media platforms were flooded with clips of her interviews, TikTok breakdowns, and endless speculation threads. The conversation had shifted from mere curiosity to a full-blown investigation. Everyone wanted to know the full truth, and the suspense was electrifying. Chrisean didn't hold back. She went deeper into the network of relationships Jason Lee had cultivated within the industry, emphasizing the scope of his influence. According to her, it wasn't just about orchestrating professional decisions. He had the ear of Beyoncé herself on countless personal matters. She claimed that even seemingly minor choices in performances, photo shoots, and public appearances were subtly guided by him, and sometimes with consequences that affected others behind the scenes. The gravity of her claims began to dawn on fans and critics alike. Beyoncé's public image is legendary for its meticulous precision, and to suggest that someone like Jason Lee was secretly steering decisions raised uncomfortable questions about authenticity and control. People began to reconsider the level of autonomy that even mega celebrities have over their own careers. It wasn't a smear campaign, it was a look into the machinery that powers one of the most iconic figures in modern music. Industry insiders who preferred to remain anonymous weighed in, cautiously acknowledging Chrisean's claims. Some admitted that Jason Lee has historically operated as a fixer and confidant for several high-profile artists, not just Beyoncé. He has been known to manage critical aspects of projects quietly, ensuring things run smoothly and controversies are minimized. Yet, Chrisean's claim was that his influence goes beyond operational guidance. She suggested that he's held sway over decisions most would assume were made personally by Beyoncé herself. Social media analysis went into overdrive. Fans began linking old interviews, red carpet appearances, and behind-the-scenes footage, trying to trace patterns that might validate Chrisean's assertions. Every glance, every handshake, and every subtle nod between Beyoncé and Jason Lee in public settings suddenly seemed loaded with hidden meaning. Memes and viral clips exploded, emphasizing the hidden hand theory Chrisean had brought to light. The conversation wasn't just about gossip anymore, it was about power dynamics, influence, and control at the highest levels of the music industry. Chrisean also hinted at private conversations and exchanges she had witnessed, describing situations where Jason Lee had intervened in conflicts, negotiations, and project developments. While she stopped. Short of exposing intimate personal secrets that could harm anyone, the implications were undeniable. Fans were left wondering, just how much did Jason Lee shape decisions that seemed purely organic? And why had the public never noticed before? The tension escalated when other artists and celebrities started weighing in. Some expressed skepticism, questioning Chrisean's motives and timing. Were these revelations a calculated move to boost her visibility? Others defended her bravery, praising her willingness to speak out about hidden truths despite potential backlash. The debate became a cultural phenomenon, a mix of curiosity, speculation, and moral questioning about transparency in celebrity life. Meanwhile, analysts and media outlets jumped on the story, framing it as a window into the hidden structures behind megastars. Commentators discussed the ethics of secretive influence in the entertainment world, weighing the line between strategic guidance and manipulation. Chrisean's narrative made fans reevaluate the concept of celebrity autonomy. Was Beyoncé truly in control, or had her decisions been subtly orchestrated by a trusted advisor for years? Chrisean's persistence kept the story alive. She posted additional insights on Instagram and TikTok, hinting at timelines, meetings, and decisions where Jason Lee's input had been pivotal. While maintaining respect for Beyoncé, she emphasized that transparency is crucial. She argued that fans deserve to understand how the entertainment industry operates at a high level and that hidden influencers like Jason Lee often wield more power than most realize. The ripple effect was immediate. Podcasts, YouTube channels, and entertainment news shows dissected every piece of her revelation. Analysts created detailed breakdowns, timelines, and infographics illustrating her claims. The story evolved into more than celebrity gossip. It became an exploration of influence, loyalty, and secrecy. People wanted to know not just the facts, but the why behind them. Amid the frenzy, Chrisean remained strategic. She teased more information, but carefully avoided revealing anything that could cause legal or personal complications. Her focus was on creating awareness, shedding light on hidden structures, and telling her story in her voice. Fans appreciated the balance. She was revealing shocking truths without crossing lines that could harm others directly. At the same time, discussions expanded beyond Beyoncé and Jason Lee. Fans began examining other high-profile artists, wondering how many had unseen figures guiding their careers behind the curtain. Speculation about management, advisors, and private decision-makers became a hot topic, raising broader questions about power and influence in the entertainment industry. Chrisean's revelations had ignited a cultural debate that extended far beyond a single celebrity. Even media outlets that typically avoided sensationalism couldn't ignore the story. Interviews with industry experts analyzed Jason Lee's historical influence, debating whether it was typical for someone in his position to wield such power. Some defended his role, arguing that artists often rely on trusted advisors for protection and strategy. Others raised ethical questions, wondering whether fans were entitled to know the extent of someone else's influence on a beloved star. Meanwhile, Chrisean's social media following surged. Fans praised her bravery, debating the potential fallout for Beyoncé, Jason Lee, and the broader industry. Every post she made was scrutinized, every story clip dissected, and every implication debated. The story's reach became global, with reactions pouring in from international fan bases and media outlets. As the weeks passed, the narrative continued to unfold. Analysts dug deeper, tracing past interactions, interviews, and project decisions that seemed to align with Chrisean's claims. Fans scoured footage of award shows, music videos, and behind-the-scenes content, looking for hints of Jason Lee's unseen hand. The story had grown beyond a simple revelation. It was now a cultural conversation about hidden power structures, celebrity agency, and the blurred line between public persona and private control. Chrisean's revelation also prompted philosophical and ethical discussions. Could a trusted advisor truly have the influence she described without the celebrity themselves knowing? Were fans justified in feeling misled by the carefully curated public image? These questions permeated forums, discussion boards, and social media debates, illustrating just how profound the impact of her story had become. And through it all, Chrisean maintained her composure. She continued to engage with her audience, sharing insights, clarifying points, and encouraging fans to think critically. Her approach wasn't merely sensational, it was educational, giving a behind-the-scenes look at the mechanisms that often operate invisibly in the music industry. By now, the story had firmly entrenched itself in popular culture. Fans, analysts, and journalists awaited the next development. Would Beyoncé respond? Would Jason Lee speak out? How would the industry adjust to this sudden exposure of hidden influence? Every day brought new discussions, speculations, and viral content. Chrisean had successfully positioned herself at the center of a narrative that challenged perceptions and sparked widespread debate. While the full impact of her revelations was still unfolding, one thing was clear: Chrisean Rock had changed the conversation about Beyoncé, Jason Lee, and the unseen forces shaping the music industry. The story had evolved into a complex web of influence, secrecy, and accountability, and fans were now paying closer attention than ever. This was far from over. Chrisean's courage to speak out had opened doors for more transparency, and the entertainment world would never look at hidden advisors the same way again. The intensity surrounding Chrisean Rock's revelations about Jason Lee and Beyoncé only continued to escalate. By now, the story wasn't just a trending topic, it had become a cultural moment. Fans, analysts, and industry insiders were glued to every update, trying to discern fact from speculation. The question on everyone's mind was simple yet electrifying. How deep did Jason Lee's influence really go, and what did it mean for Beyoncé's legacy? Chrisean didn't slow down. She revealed more details about meetings, phone calls, and behind-the-scenes guidance where Jason Lee allegedly had a decisive say. She described moments where creative decisions, from song releases to public appearances, were subtly shaped by him. These weren't trivial suggestions, they were strategic moves designed to control perception, manage the narrative, and maintain the perfect public image. Fans were stunned. To imagine that someone had been operating in the shadows for years, quietly steering the trajectory of one of the world's biggest stars, was both shocking and surreal. Industry insiders began corroborating parts of her story. Anonymous sources confirmed that Jason Lee is known for being a highly influential figure behind the scenes. While his role is often framed as a manager or advisor, Chrisean's account painted a picture of someone who exerted control over decisions that appeared, on the surface, to be Beyoncé's own. The tension between perceived autonomy and hidden influence fascinated fans, who began dissecting every performance, every interview, and every red carpet moment for signs of his guidance. Social media exploded with speculation. Every gesture, every handshake, every nod between Beyoncé and Jason Lee in public appearances was scrutinized. TikTok compilations, Instagram reels, and Twitter threads multiplied, analyzing the subtle cues that Chrisean hinted at. Memes erupted, some humorous, others serious, suggesting that Beyoncé's decisions had long been subtly influenced by a trusted but unseen hand. The public obsession grew, fueling debates about authenticity, transparency, and control in the music industry. Chrisean also emphasized the ethical implications of such hidden influence. She argued that while advisors are common, fans deserve to understand the forces shaping the careers of their favorite artists. Her point wasn't to discredit Beyoncé, but to reveal the invisible power dynamics behind the curtain. She challenged her audience to question narratives and think critically about the industry's inner workings. The message was strong, and it resonated with fans who had long wondered how megastars manage their public and private lives. The reactions weren't limited to fans. Celebrities and influencers weighed in, some expressing support, others skepticism. Some questioned Chrisean's motives, accusing her of leveraging the story for attention. But many applauded her courage, noting that speaking out against powerful figures requires bravery. Discussions expanded beyond Beyoncé and Jason Lee, focusing on the systemic influence of hidden advisors and the ethical questions surrounding celebrity control. Podcasts and news outlets dissected the story in detail. Analysts debated the impact of Chrisean's revelations on Beyoncé's brand and reputation. Could hidden influence diminish the perception of her creative autonomy? Some argued that advisors are standard in the industry, while others wondered if the depth of control alleged was unusual, even alarming. The story had evolved from celebrity gossip into a broader examination of power, influence, and control in the music business. Chrisean's strategy was deliberate. She shared just enough information to keep audiences engaged while avoiding legal pitfalls. Her focus was on transparency and awareness, not sensationalism. This balance earned her credibility among fans and commentators, solidifying her role as a key voice in uncovering the behind-the-scenes dynamics of the industry. Meanwhile, Beyoncé remained publicly silent. Her team issued no official response, and Jason Lee himself stayed out of the conversation. This silence fueled speculation further. Every public appearance, every social media post, and every interview was scrutinized for clues. Fans theorized endlessly, connecting dots, revisiting old interviews, and even analyzing past performances for subtle signs of unseen guidance. The mystery only intensified, adding layers of intrigue to Chrisean's revelations. The story's reach went global. Fans from Europe, Asia, Africa, and Latin America engaged with the narrative, translating clips, posting analyses, and debating implications. Chrisean's social media following skyrocketed, and her interviews began trending internationally. The story wasn't just about Beyoncé or Jason Lee anymore. It had become a conversation about celebrity culture, hidden power, and the unseen forces shaping the entertainment world. Chrisean also highlighted moments where Jason Lee allegedly intervened in conflicts between artists, managers, and record labels. These interventions were framed as strategic moves to maintain harmony and protect reputations, but they also illustrated the extent of his influence. Her audience was captivated. They had never seen this level of behind-the-scenes control exposed so openly. The line between guidance and manipulation became a focal point for discussion, with debates raging about whether hidden influence was necessary or potentially harmful. The narrative reached a new level when Chrisean teased additional insights about the financial and creative decisions influenced by Jason Lee. She suggested that even album release dates, collaborations, and media appearances had been subtly shaped to optimize public perception and revenue. Fans were shocked. The idea that someone could orchestrate so many aspects of a megastar's career from behind the scenes challenged everything they thought they knew about celebrity autonomy. As the weeks passed, the story maintained momentum. Podcasts continued to explore her claims, social media buzzed with speculation, and new analyses surfaced almost daily. Fans debated the ethical implications, dissected past performances, and questioned how many other celebrities might be similarly influenced. Chrisean had ignited a cultural conversation that extended far beyond a single revelation. Despite the whirlwind, Chrisean remained composed. She engaged with her audience strategically, clarifying points, responding to questions, and encouraging fans to think critically. Her approach was a mix of transparency and caution, balancing shock value with responsibility. By doing so, she maintained credibility while keeping the narrative alive and viral. The climax of the story came as fans eagerly awaited Beyoncé or Jason Lee to respond. The silence persisted, which only added to the intrigue. Fans debated endlessly. Was Beyoncé aware of the exposure? And if so, how would she react? Could Jason Lee issue a statement without confirming Chrisean's allegations? The tension reached a fever pitch, making the story one of the most talked about entertainment moments of the year. By now, the Chrisean rock revelation had transformed into a long-term discussion about influence, control, and transparency in the music industry. Fans were more aware than ever that even megastars might operate within networks of hidden power. The story challenged perceptions and sparked a reevaluation of what it means to be a celebrity in the modern era. In conclusion, Chrisean Rock's courage in speaking out revealed a side of the industry rarely discussed: the unseen hands shaping decisions, careers, and reputations. Her revelations about Jason Lee's influence on Beyoncé created a viral, shocking, and deeply compelling narrative. Fans are now more alert, analysts more investigative, and the cultural conversation around celebrity autonomy and hidden influence has been forever transformed. The story didn't just expose secrets. It reshaped the way audiences understand fame, power, and control in the entertainment world. The ripple effects are still ongoing. Chrisean's voice has opened doors for transparency, inspired debates about ethics and influence, and given audiences a lens into the hidden structures that govern the careers of the world's most famous artists. While Beyoncé and Jason Lee's next moves remain unknown, one thing is certain: the music industry will never be viewed the same way again.